The dream of becoming a pilot. Once upon a time, in a small town surrounded by rolling hills, there lived a young girl named RAILA. From the moment she could remember, RAILA had always gazed up at the sky, mesmerized by the sight of airplanes soaring through the clouds. The sound of their engines roaring above her filled her with a sense of wonder and excitement. RAILA had a dream to become a pilot. Every day after school, RAILA would rush home, grab her notebook, and start sketching airplanes. She filled pages with drawings of different aircraft, imagining herself behind the controls, flying high above the world. She would often watch documentaries about aviation, learning about the mechanics of flying and the adventures of pilots. RAILA's room was decorated with posters of famous pilots and airplanes, each one fueling her ambition. However, RAILA faced challenges. In her small town, there were no flight schools or training programs. Many of her friends and even some adults would say, "RAILA, being a pilot is just a dream. It's too far-fetched for someone like you." But RAILA was determined. She refused to let anyone dim her bright ambitions. One sunny afternoon, RAILA visited the local library to find more books about flying. While there, she happened to meet an elderly man named Mr. Thompson, a retired pilot. He noticed her enthusiasm and asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up, young lady?" With shining eyes, RAILA replied, "I want to be a pilot and fly airplanes." Mr. Thompson smiled warmly. "That's a wonderful dream, RAILA. I flew for many years, and I can tell you that if you work hard and believe in yourself, you can achieve it." Encouraged by his words, RAILA asked Mr. Thompson if he could share some of his experiences. He told her stories of flying over mountains, crossing oceans, and the joy of seeing the world from above. He even invited her to visit a nearby airfield to see the airplanes up close. RAILA was overjoyed. The next weekend, she visited the airfield with Mr. Thompson. She watched in awe as planes took off and landed. Mr. Thompson introduced her to a group of pilots who were more than happy to share their knowledge. They showed her the cockpit of a small plane and explained the controls. RAILA felt like she was in a dream. Inspired by their encouragement, RAILA began to take steps toward her goal. She started studying hard in school, focusing on subjects like math and science, which were important for aviation. She joined a local club where she could learn more about planes and even started flying simulation games to practice her skills. As the years passed, RAILA never lost sight of her dream. She applied for a scholarship to a flight school, and after a rigorous selection process, she was accepted. The day she received the acceptance letter was one of the happiest moments of her life. She knew that all her hard work was paying off. During her training, RAILA faced challenges, learning to navigate, understanding weather patterns, and mastering the art of flying. But she remembered Mr. Thompson's words and stayed determined. With each flight, she grew more confident, and her passion for flying only intensified. Finally, the day arrived when RAILA completed her training and earned her pilot's license. The moment she took to the skies in her first solo flight was exhilarating. She felt free, soaring through the clouds, living her dream. RAILA had become a pilot. Years later, RAILA returned to her hometown, not just as a pilot but as an inspiration to others. She began visiting schools, sharing her story, and encouraging children to pursue their dreams, no matter how impossible they might seem. RAILA's journey taught everyone that with determination, hard work, and a little encouragement, dreams could indeed take flight. #the end.